Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Let's have a look at problem 451. Sort characters by frequency. In this video, we are going to share two methods. So one is to create proper sorting key, and the other is to use heap to build the result string. First, I'll read through the problem statement, and then we look at the analysis, and finally we share the two formats of solutions. First, let's look at the problem statement. So given a string s, sort it in decreasing order based on the frequency of the characters. The frequency of a character is the number of times it appears in the string. Return the sorted string. If there are multiple answers, return any of them. So actually in this problem, it gives us the sorting key, right? So we need to sort based on the frequency. So we need to return the sorted string, right? So these are the several examples. For example, in this example, so E appears twice, so we need to have E first, and then we have R and T, because T is larger than R in order, right? So this is the return for example 1. So in example 2, so both A and C appear 3 times, but A is in before C lexically, so lexicographically. So we have AAA, CCC. This is the return for example 2. So similarly, we can interpret the return for example 3. So here B appears twice, so we need to put the first two B's, and then we get capital A and little a. So before we look at analysis, let's look at the constraints. First, the length of the string s is bounded below by 1 and bounded above by 5 times 10 to the power 5. So s consists of uppercase and lowercase English letters and digits. So that's the problem statement and the assumptions. So here we are going to share two methods. So one method is based on sorting using customized sorting key, and the second method is to use heap to build the result string. So essentially, the two formats of solutions are the same. So first, let's look at the ideas. So in method 1, so we just need to find the frequency dictionary and then do sorting according to the, because we sort from a large frequency to smaller, so we need to use negative frequency. And the secondary sorting key will be the character itself. So method 2 is to use min heap to store so this tuple, and then we use heap to build the result. So the logic is very straightforward. So we directly go to the coding without first doing example walkthroughs like in other videos. So here, let's first write the first solution. So using sort key. So for this, actually we can first we can write in different formats. So let's write one. So count. So this is counter. So let's see, counter of s. So this will return us the unique characters in s and their corresponding frequencies. So then once we have this dictionary, so we can define a sorting key. Let's see, I call it f, just so then what we are going to return is the negative frequency, right? So that is can't get character, otherwise we set the frequency to be 0. And then we also need to sort according to the character, like in example 2, right? So this is the sorting key function. So here f is a callable, right? So we are going to pass this function as an argument. So what we are going to return is nothing but, so let's use John. So what after we sort, so what the sorted thing is like this. So we are going to sort s. So the key will be the callable f, right? So this will give us the desired result. So before we do anything further, let's first check the solution. Yeah, it passes the first example. Now let's look at the generic case. Yeah, it passes all the generic cases. So this is one solution. So we just need to use sort according to a customized sorting key based on the problem statement. So next we're going to write another solution. So I'm going to copy this part, and then I'm going to change this one to be a v1. So here I'm going to, let's see, what am I going to do? Let's write it like this. So I'm going to use min heap to build the result. So this actually can be very simple. First, let me get the counter, right? So, and then what we're going to do, so in this case, I'm going to use the min heap in Python. So for that, first let me initialize a heap. So this will be the heap we're going to use, and then we are going to traverse the dictionary count. So for k v in count, so items, right? So this items means the pairs of k and v. So what we are going to push into here, heap push. So I'm going to push to this heap, and the thing I'm going to push in is negative v, right? So and k. So this k is actually the frequencies, and this v will be the negative, will be the frequency. So this will be negative v, and the k corresponds to the character, right? So then we're going to build the result, right? So then let's use the result equals empty first, and then we're going to use a while loop, while frequency. Then what we're going to do, first we get the count of the character, and then the character, right? So it's going to be heap q, heap pop, right? Heap pop from this heap. So notice that because we push negative frequency into the heap, and then once we do the pop, it will give us the minimum heap, minimum value, that is the most negative one. Then we take negative sign, that will be corresponding to the largest frequency so far. So we're going to increment the result by the current character times the corresponding frequency, that is negative count, right? So we can use this directly, and then so this finished the build process, and then we just need to return the result state. So that's the second solution format. So before we do anything, let's do a check. Yeah, it passes the first example. Now let's look at the second example. So this is a typical example for this case. So let's use this. And then it passes the second one. Now let's look at the generic case. Yeah, it passes the generic case, all the generic cases. So with that said, I guess that's about it for this specific problem. So in this video, we shared two formats of solutions. So one is using sorting key, and the other is using min heap to build the result. So with that said, I guess that's about it for this video. Thank you.